Okay, looks good.
Hello and welcome everybody to the Toku Portal podcast for Kamen Rider Ex-Aid. I am Vashi V and here with me today is
Rye.
Decade.
Drago.
King?
And zero.
Picking up right where the last episode left off, Masamune is forcing Hiro to make a choice. Kill Emu or lose any hope of reviving Saki. Being a doctor, Hiro doesn't really like the idea of taking a life. Masamune does propose a solution. To take out the bugster Parado. Without him, Emu won't be able to henshin. Personally, I think Masamune could have opened with that. Asshole. But we already know he doesn't care about lives. At CR, Emu is diagnosing a patient with game syndrome. The other director rushes in, recognizing the patient as Saki's father, Momose. And over at his own underground hospital, where Nico has decorated everything pink, Taiga is getting impatient, waiting for Graphite to show himself. And then there's an emergency call. I love that Nico has basically turned the Taiga's private hospital into her own bedroom. Like, there's a bed in there now.
Yeah, and he's totally accepted it too. But yeah, the whole thing about making Parado the target, I think that was a pretty good move because, and I kind of didn't see it coming because he's kind of been in the background, and he did get hit with the Maximum Mighty X, so I was kind of curious as to how that would affect Emu, but yeah, they just actually filled in that plot hole saying, yeah, if he dies, Emu loses his compatibility to the driver. So yeah, good job filling your plot holes.
You know, there is a really good solution even if Emu loses his compatibility. Give him a compatibility surgery. The guy who gives they are doctors in your side. Two, there's Dan Kuroto who can do that in your side. And why do you even need Parado anymore when you have Dan Kuroto to just do the surgery again? This one, that is very unprecedented fear actually.
It's a good point. The only problem is like their only way to bait Kronos is the new Gashite, and Emu needs Peridot to use that.
No, it isn't supposed to be the genius. He needs genius gamer M to use that.
Yeah, but like, okay, Dan's a full Bugster.
Peridot is Genius Gamer M.
Yeah, there's that. And the other thing is, Dan created the damn thing, and he's a full Bugster, and he can only last 10 seconds. Like, if you gave it to Laser, I don't think he'll even last like 10 seconds. So it's the problem of like, yeah, you can give him the surgery, but I don't think the Gashot will be as effective anymore. Whereas, like, yeah, they could like, Peridot could be dead, Emu could still henshin, but like, they wouldn't be able to beat Kronos then. I think
but
that's what they're getting at. But go ahead.
Yeah, that hasn't been stated. That's what I wanted to point out. And also this one. Also, I did one level difference between Parado and Hero. Kinda, it was looking like the battle was going one-sided. But
Yeah, especially when Graphite shows up, and I'm like, they're two level 99s against one level 100. Like, they should be kicking your ass, Hero. Like, it doesn't make sense.
And also the fact that Graphite has game says virus in him, so he must have been a bit stronger.
I mean, yeah, but at the same time, I don't think they're gonna get rid of either of them, at least anytime soon, because yes, the level 100 thing kind of makes a little bit of a gap, and like you guys said, they probably should have. It's 2 against 1, despite the level difference. They should have kicked his ass. One, they're both technically human characters, so I doubt that they're gonna get rid of him for the sake of that. But at the same time, they're also, despite the level 100 again, they're both still heavy hitters. If you take away Muteki in level 100, and you saw what happened with Taiga, but I'm sure we'll talk about that later, they're still, they can still put up a fight, despite the fact that so many people are getting power ups that are pretty much outranking them. So I still think that while it doesn't entirely make sense to keep them, I can see the reasons they wouldn't want to get rid of them either.
I kind of agree that fight shouldn't have been one-sided. I get why they did it to show off the level 100 because that's the new big thing. The one thing I really wanted to point out was back on Nico taking over Taiga's hospital, for lack of a better term, is she took over the hospital so far that he is using her pencils. Because, yeah, Taiga just really wants to be a pretty princess, and that's okay.
Like, Taiga
Don't
is
forget
so...
the Simpsons donut.
Clearly, he was ahead of the curve. Right?
I feel
He's
like...
Blackjack, and his OC is Zakura.
I feel like he's just so, like, agitated with what's going on the writer side of things, he just hasn't even noticed. Like,
He's just totally zoned out.
Like, he just picked up a pencil, and Nico happened to have replaced all of the pencils.
Okay, I would agree with that, except for he's writing in like a journal or whatever, and it clearly is just a matching set at that point. I'm like, yeah, he's pretty much like let Nico do whatever the hell she wants at this point, which I'm fine with. Also, as for like there's a bed in there already was a bed in there. There was like a couple episodes ago where it's like you see like Taiga just like lying on it, and then they hear that two Bucksters have inside it, and then Nico and them just go beat the Bucksters and get their gash outs off screen. Remember that?
But like I said, Taiga just wants to be a pretty princess.
I mean, to be fair, he's like the more like Nico is part of his life thing is kind of just a homage to like how he's basically like Blackjack, and like Blackjack has like a female character who kind of just hangs around with him. I mean, like she's like really young, so it's kind of like, you know, she's like Blackjack's daughter or something. Whatever, I don't know for sure. I just started watching like one of the OVAs. Like, yeah, Blackjack's interesting, but Nico's only here. I mean, this makes sense because Taiga's a homage to Blackjack.
Like,
Vashi, go ahead.
I literally think it's like it's more of a touch to show how much he's changed since the beginning of the series. Because he was a giant douche canoe at the start of the series in terms of his attitude. He's always been a great character. I just mean like personally as a person, he was kind of a douche canoe. All he cared about was
had to be because he had to push everyone away.
Right.
Because
the motivations he had for it were great, and it showed his like interactions with Nico and how much Nico is changing, for lack of a better term, his home life and the decorations he has in his offices and changes, you know, everything about it. And him letting her do that is showing growth as a person, that he's realizing he's got to start letting people in, or, you know, things are just going to continue to go south.
Yeah. I also kind of like that, like, I'm like, you snapped one of Nico's pencils. I'm like, she's not the type of character that would take that line down. She, like, gets up and kicks him. I'm like, oh, yeah, this is one of her things. I'm like, every time that happens, I'm like, holy shit, those shoes, it must hurt, like, super bad. What if you, like, miss and mess up, and then you have to get kicked multiple times? Anyway, yep, poor Taiga, I guess.
Yeah, I feel bad for the actor every time that has to get done multiple times.
Yeah. Anyway, you guys said all the good bits, so let's keep going.
Emu's the first to arrive on the scene where the Buckster is, And like there's a bunch of people off to the side taking pictures of the Bugster casually. Paradox shows up to fight Emu, because Emu did promise they'd settle things in the last episode. Then Hero shows up to fight Paradox. Hero henshins into Brave using the new Tattle Legacy Gashat, and Paradox gets really excited, and the two proceed to fight. So Emu takes advantage of the situation and henshins into Ex-Aid with his Hyper Mudeki Gashat to fight the Bugster. Taiga and Nico show up and just kind of watch from a distance, because Taiga said to. Ex-Aid makes short work of the Bugster, and Brave manages to nearly defeat Paradox. Before he can actually finish it, Nico jumps in ready to deal the finishing blow so they can collect the clear token. Remember that plot MacGuffin from like 10 episodes ago? But Taiga
Yes.
rushes in to get Nico out of the way, and then Paradox just gets bored and teleports off. I really like that when they first show up, Nico's just ready to jump right in, but Taiga goes, no, 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 no. Let's see how this plays out first. Because he can tell, like, yeah, shit's really going down, and they don't know the full situation here. Especially since... Go on.
It's that plus the Bugster is level 60, so even Taiga at max power wouldn't be able to beat him.
And this is
He's
also
only
the...
level 50.
they're also seeing...
Level 9. Okay.
They're
I
also
wanted to say,
seeing Tattle Legacy for the first time, so... Yeah, what's Hero up to? What's going on? Why is he fighting Paradox?
Yeah. And also I wanted to say that Sun Paradox is still level 99, not 60, because that level 0 power of turning the level down to 60 doesn't work after.
No, I
after
meant the
game.
Bugster.
Uh,
Level 60. And Taiga couldn't beat him even if he wanted to.
no, with power ups he can, because the Bucksters don't use power ups.
Yeah, but it's not going to be an easy fight. I mean, like, letting Nico run in there would have gotten her killed for sure.
Yeah, that's true. I'm talking about the fact that, because Hero at level 5 with the Dragonite Hunters, he has beaten level 30 before. 30, 40 before. Even with Emu at level 3 has beaten. Emu / Parado at level 3 has beaten Bucksters before, so I'm just saying.
Yeah,
But...
fair enough. I mean, fair point. Anybody else have anything on this scene?
I like Tattle Legacy. It's pretty interesting how you have a tiny Gashat be level 100. That's a pretty interesting twist. And I like Hiro's edgy hair.
I know it's great, right? Like, he's just standing there in the room with like his hair is changed. I'm like, did you go to the stylist and come back? Like, what? Did you get tired of standing in this room?
No, he just stopped pushing it over so much.
I know. It's pretty good. Anything else, you guys?
I thought the suit was pretty cool. I mean, the fact it's level 100, I think, really proves its capabilities. Although, despite what happened, I did kind of think it was clever that Nico did run in front of him, because technically she is one of the people that needs to give that last hit if they want to be Chronicle. So, I like that they at least remembered that, even if it was comic relief. So, but other than that, like I said, I like the suit. So, and I did like Hyper Muteki in this one, despite the fact it was kind of redundant in this fight, but I still liked it.
Yeah, that was weird. I was like, dude, you already have level 99. Why do you need this? But I'm like, maybe it was a test run. Go ahead, Vashi.
Maybe it was because Toei needs to sell toys. Vashi, are you
Are you
talking?
muted?
Yeah. Also, I like wait, I forgot to tell. I like the fact that without Parad inside him, he still hasn't learned how to use the Hyper Muteki. That was neat.
Hmm. Okay, I'm gonna move on while we figure out what's going on with Vashi. His Wi-Fi might be cutting out. Oh, I do like the Tattle Legacy suit, by the way. I don't. I think I prefer the Tattle Fancy one more, but this one is still really good.
Yeah,
And the
that's what I
weapon
was.
effects are cool. They're like all golden and stuff. Pretty interesting.
Yeah, I mean the weapon effects are cool. I mean, my problem is like it's technically supposed to have both of their powers, but it doesn't. It just does its own thing. So I'm like,
Mm.
that's kind of weird. Um, Personally, I like the level 50s look more, but this is basically just a recolored level 50 anyway. So I'm like, what are you gonna do, right? Yeah, I mean maybe it'll get cooler. I mean it was okay, but it just doesn't beat the debut of Tattle Fantasy in my book.
And Tattle Fantasy didn't get enough screen time as it was.
Yeah, it has an awesome rider kick, and they used it like once,
And
or
also,
maybe
like,
twice.
the cape thing.
Yeah, well, I wanted to say that all the awesome rider kicks are just shown once, at best twice.
I know. Pretty soon, like it's I don't know what Toei's problem is. Like maybe it's the whole thing of like, okay, rider kicks are really hard to film or something. But I'm like, did you see the effects from Muteki? Like, it's fucking wire fu up the ass. Like, how much harder is that to film compared to like a rider kick?
They've done a
Like,
lot of framework in this series. I wouldn't be. I would be shocked if they were like, "Nah, that's too hard."
yeah, I don't know why. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, they've minimized the rider kicks. Like, the punches show up every once in a while, but then again, the rider punches are always kind of there, not there. Like they're always plot convenient anyway, so I'm not too worried about that. But like the bikes are gone for the most part. Like I mean, Ghost had bikes. Like X8 has way less bikes. Um, but they have way more people, so I guess they just didn't want to waste time filming the bikes and stuff. But yeah, the bikes have gone way down, like Sentai fights, and then like the rider kicks are basically non-existent. Like have one because like, oh, it's the new form, it's gonna get one rider kick. I'm like, come on, man. I get it because they can't sell like the toys for the rider kick or rider punch or anything like that, but I'm like, come on, that is a bullshit reason. Like
At
that's why we
least
have so many stupid gun swords, because you can sell those things.
uh,
Drago, go ahead.
yeah, the thing about Exit, at least that's actually honest opinion, Exit is the least rider like show. I gotta say, because they have the less amount of rider kicks. They don't have the any whatever. You don't have the bikes. Most of the riders don't use bikes at all. And the third one is that it doesn't feel like a rider show at much.
I mean, it's kind of weird because it has the most like throwbacks to Showa era in a long time. So it's kind of hard to say it's like, oh, it's not Rider, because it's got like plots straight out of the Showa era, like
Uh,
they're modified humans, and I'm going to sell this product to take over the world and shit like that, and it's such a Showa era concept. But X8's done them so well. But yeah, like the standard Rider stuff is super minimalized.
yeah, I
You're
can
right.
see what Drago's saying about how it doesn't have the same feel that Rider typically does. But I would say that there have been other series that have felt less like a Rider series than this one.
Yeah, but the thing is that with other series, you have the bikes to compensate for it.
Yeah, that's true. Like even like as much as like Oz uses his sword and stuff, and like Wizard, like their bikes show up like every once in a while. Like
Yeah,
Wizard, his rider kick is his freaking dragon and bike fused together into a giant foot that Ryder kicks you. Well, the
Even
ultimate
with
one, anyway.
yeah, even with what do you call it? Even with Oz, he also had his signature rider kicks for every single form except Sagozo.
Yeah, that's true. He just had like the ground pound for that one.
Which is weird because that one had elephant legs.
they were they were saving it for
Well,
Georgia.
in the games, it's literally just. Oh yeah, that's a good one. It's literally just him like stepping, like jumping up and stomping on the enemies. But yeah, I don't think we really see it in the show.
Yeah, that's and even Drive actually Drive. The only reason it feels like a rider show is because of Chaser and Mark.
Yeah, right. Like
Yeah.
they just show up as like, "What's our team?" Oh yeah, we're bike riders. That's our thing. Yeah, there you go.
No. Okay, I would say that they are actual Kamen Rider and Drive is a ripoff.
Yeah, I could kind of see that. I mean, like, yeah. You're right because he's more like a metal hero at that point, right? Because like
Yeah.
he has an AI helping him and like an AI suit and like yeah, all that. That's weird. Also, weirdly enough, like apparently Deno was supposed to be like potentially could have been a Metal Hero show.
No, but Deno does feel like more like a rider because the monsters themselves are being riders fighting the monsters.
If you don't know what
Yeah.
Deno is about a wimpy guy that has never thrown a punch in his life becoming a rider, and he just lets a bunch of demons possess him and fight for him.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yes, this is not to be confused with Agito, which is a guy who lost his memories and is a demon who kicks God in the face.
Oh my god, I should watch Agito.
You should watch Agito. Vashi, are you back yet? That
Yes, I am. If people will stop calling me now.
all right. Did you have anything to say about Tato Legacy?
Like it was nice to see. I'm not sold on how it looks and all that, though. It was nice to see that Princess Taiga has learned not to just run into battle. And by the way, that's all I'm calling him from now on. He's Princess Taiga.
Dude, at least the
Continue.
Sakura one made sense. Her whole thing is like she knows weird, healing magic and stuff.
She
Well,
also
whatever.
talks in rhymes, which Taiga doesn't do. We should have a
Okay, fine.
Kamen Rider that talks in rhymes.
Um, do we have one?
Not to my
That
knowledge.
actually, wait. You know what? That actually would be super tough because you have to the script writer has to search for. He has to keep on rhyming crap for all the dialogues.
I mean, just like
Also, the thing is, like, Japanese isn't that same. Like, rhyming stuff in Japanese is weird because, like, the language works differently.
I mean, so long as it works for Japanese, that's all I care about.
Fair enough, I guess. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Like, we've done like a lot of weird shit with Ryder, but like, I don't think we've ever actually had like a Ryder who just talks. Okay, we have writers who talk nonsense, or like cryptically, but like nothing like just rhyming all the time. If you haven't seen Ghost, you wouldn't know what the hell I'm talking about. Um, anyway,
Anyways, we should move on with the episode.
okay, wait.
Go on.
Hibiki, they sing. Is that close enough?
Well, they mostly just play music than singing.
No. Okay, first episode.
Oh right, Hibiki himself sings.
Yeah.
I forgot. Yeah, that kind of fits because he does kind of rhyme a little bit in those. Yeah, okay, I'll accept it. Hibiki is the rhyme writer. Now, back to the episode. We go back to CR, where the director kind of feels responsible for how Hiro is behaving. Uh, Kira and Puppy had been looking around inside game data to see if restoring people that vanished is possible. They found the data, but it's locked. Dan figures that they'll need the master gashat that Masamune has to access it, so Emma decides to steal it. And Kira and Puppy decide to join him. Yeah, it turns out let's just steal the thing was not against Emu's principles. So
Stealing's not against. Stealing isn't against the doctor.
I mean,
Apparently,
especially when he's like holding multiple people's lives at stake. So yeah, go ahead, Basher.
he just has a problem with bringing dead people back to life.
So, a while ago, when they figured out a plan to take out Kronos, and that was when Hiro first betrayed them, Emu probably would have been okay with stealing the Proto Gashets back then.
I mean, yeah, it makes sense. Like, technically, Emu is pretty okay with everything as long as you don't kill or try to kill people. Because it's like, okay, if it's good for the greater good, then he's just gonna do the writer thing, which is like, whatever, man, it's gonna save lives. I'm gonna look the other way. Um, yeah. Also, I guess I'll say my bit with this, and then you guys can go. All right. So, Taiga's color is yellow and pink. Poppy's is pink and yellow. Ex-Aid level, his most standard form, pink. His maxed out form, yellow. I'm like, that some designer was thinking way the fuck ahead when they thought of this color scheme.
Pretty much. Actually, people have problem with X8 suits, but at least I would say that the villains have better suits than the hero himself. Like, I mean, like, the even potential villain, like Hero has a better suit than X8 and Taiga. Gem has a better suit than literally everyone else. Parado has better suit than everyone else. Cronus has better suit than everyone else.
I mean, like, if you're gonna get one suit, might as well make it awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, even Hero has like about 3 or 4 suits, but still he has the best ones.
Well, his mold is so simple to work with. It's basically like the closest to a standard rider anyway, so like it's really easy to put stuff on, whereas like X8 and Snipe's gimmicks are kind of weird, and lasers especially, it's kind of hard to slot stuff onto them.
Okay, I guess we move on to the next plot.
Yeah, if no one else has anything to say.
May I?
So, Emu, Kira, and Poppy confront
King
Masu...
had something to say.
It's time. Go ahead.
Okay.
Sorry. Emu, Kira, and Poppy confront Masamune in a parking lot to take his gashat by force. Meanwhile, Paradox and Graphite ambush Hiro in a park. Taiga shows up as Snipe to challenge Graphite, and Nico is there hoping to finish them off to collect the clear tokens. So, before we get into how these fights resolve, any thoughts on the actual fights themselves? We only see a little bit, but I really like how well the fight against Masamune is choreographed, especially when he pauses and restarts, and Kira realizes that he's about to hit Poppy by mistake.
Yeah. Just seeing those two fighting together again with the color schemes is pretty fun. I mean, the blue eyes and the pink and the yellow. Yeah, I guess they really did think ahead. I like the whole. I mean, because right before Hiro gets ambushed, of course he's thinking about his girlfriend, And then Graphite just shows up. He's like, "Oh, how nostalgic to see you here. That was so great." Uh, and I'm really liking Graphite's new blood red suit. I mean, before he just had like a red arm, kind of like Ankh, but now he's all blood red and black and stuff. It looks pretty damn awesome.
Yeah, he's Tajador now. Okay.
Well, yeah, I wanted to say one thing, and wait. You know the Tumblr already started shipping shipping what do you call it, Kiria and Poppy.
Jesus.
Why? What? Because they're bugsters? That's fucking racist.
Yes.
I wouldn't say very much as a relationship, more like a brother-sister thing, since...
Actually, I really enjoy the that like them being a team, like the Buckster team to rescue people and everything. That was pretty funny. Like these two guys are literally has been like Emu's prime secondary riders, technically. Because Brave has never acted as a secondary rider or even Snipe. So, okay, wait. Yeah, Dan has acted more like a secondary rider than Brave and Snipe.
That is true.
Okay.
Is that
one
all
small
everyone
thing,
had
then
to
you get. Yeah, one small thing, then Vashi and King, you can go. Uh, it's kind of nice to actually see somebody run the fuck away when they see a Buckster. Because, like, at first I'm like, did people forget that these things kill people? Like, and then they just walk down the steps and you see two people just book it screaming. I'm like, yeah, that's about the right reaction.
Nothing else?
Vashi,
No,
King.
good.
Alright.
Yeah, I got nothing.
So, Masamune reveals his plan to have Brave kill Paradox so that Emu can no longer become Ex-Aid. This prompts Pompty and Kiria to feel that Emu should stop fighting him now to go stop Brave. Meanwhile, at that fight, Graphite knocks Snipe out of his henshin, but Taiga stubbornly keeps standing up. So Graphite beats the shit out of him to near death. Brave responds by performing a powerful blow that knocks Paradox out of his henshin and Graphite out of his powered-up form. Rather than finishing him off, though, everyone, including the others who have just arrived, prioritize Taiga in his critical condition. Poppy calls an ambulance. Taiga says that he regrets not being able to defeat Graphite and apologizes to Nico for not giving her a checkup before closing his eyes. Episode end. I'm gonna let you guys say your thoughts first.
Yeah, so Taiga got wrecked. It was pretty awesome seeing him, shooting out like desperately in his human form. It's pretty intense. But dang, I seriously thought they were gonna kill him off. Because I mean, right off the bat, when back in the day when I showed Graphite, yeah, when Graphite's like, oh, you're still alive, but you don't have long to live, whatever. I was like, okay, Taiga's gonna die eventually, and it's gonna suck. But I really wasn't hoping it would happen this episode, and thankfully it didn't. But holy shit, the next episode is going to be insane. That's all I gotta say.
Well, for me at least, I really like this. I really like the struggle that Taiga was going through. I would have appreciated if all the 4 Snipe specials were out by now. This episode would have made more sense.
I mean,
But
yeah, I agree. Those would really help. But just seeing the first episode of like the Zero special, I mean, the Snipe
Snipe.
episode 0 part 1 thing, you kind of know like yeah like how much of a burden it is on him. Plus, like Taiga's probably thinking that like none of this would have been happening if he had just killed Graphite back in the day.
Yeah,
That's why it's just going all out.
and also I also think is that at least in this entire Ex-Aid, no matter what anybody says, Snipe is literally the most interesting, the most developed, and the guy which we know a lot about. I mean, like aside from him being a doctor or being just one note, he had the most development compared to other people. And then that's what I really liked about this scene, and just to see Snipe go out like that with the punch he's got, that was very, this was actually life threatening rather than turning into data. Because look, that was a physical injury, not like a dying from a Buckster virus or from an infection.
Yeah, because he wasn't tensioned. Plus, like he would have died from internal bleeding. Just like his friend who was infected but he died because he got hit by a car. So like you can just die as a normal human.
That is Laser's friend, not
Sorry,
Tiger's.
sorry, laser. I got confused there because I was just thinking like you're like Snipes is the most about. I'm like technically it's like Dan, but like we don't like Dan that much. So then it's like Snipe or Laser.
Yeah, but even Laser is that he just got in bits and pieces, and then he wasn't there for a long time. So
Yeah,
we
I know.
couldn't
Like,
see.
if Laser had the same amount of episode, like maybe we would have had the same. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty damn close between Snipe and Laser. King, your thoughts?
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm glad they didn't kill him off, but I don't know. I mean, at this rate, I don't entirely think it's looking good for Snipe so much as it is Taiga. Like, I really doubt they're gonna kill him off, but Snipe, on the other hand, with this, I'm not sure he's gonna be able to come back as that. But fight was really good. I liked how they showed desperation in something and regret slightly too in some instances. But yeah, it was hard to watch for emotional reasons, but it was a good scene.
Like, this was a great fight, a great end to it. The previews were kind of misleading from last week to this one, but
What? Toei's previews lie. That never happened.
well, I mean, more so than usual.
Shoot!
Like,
Okay,
usually the previews at least run in sequence with the episode.
Okay, they're lying that like, oh shit, Tiger died. I'm like, they're not gonna reveal a rider died in the preview. It's gotta be a lie. And then like next week it's like, holy shit, Hero might kill Tiger. I'm like, what a load of crap. They're not gonna have Hero murder, Tiger. Like
Right,
that will
which-
never happen.
I didn't mean in the terms of Taiga dying or not. I just meant in terms of like the sequence of events. Because typically with the previews, they kind of run parallel to the episode. So if the preview holds a fight, usually the flashes that we get of the fight are typically in order. Whereas the way the preview for this episode ended last week, it ended with what ended up being the start of the fight between Graphite and Taiga. Rather than it being like the climactic ending to the episode or to the fight.
Yeah, I just remember that Moteki freaking reveal promo where it's like, holy shit, I built the ultimate gadget. Oh no, it's been stolen. I'm like, that jump cart was so far into the episode. So like, yeah,
But in fairness, it was still accurate to the course of events.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's not like, oh, the new Gashat got stolen. By the way, I created a new Gashat. But
Okay.
like,
Okay, I think it's just mostly because like the job of a preview is to get you hyped to see the next episode. Like, oh shit, I have to see this. So they rely to get you to see it. So yeah, I kind of have. Plus, it's Toei. They fucking lie. But go ahead, Vashi.
I mean, we all know Toei lies. I mean, if Toei didn't lie, I wouldn't be right half the time with this series.
I mean, yeah, like that decade movie preview was so accurate.
But like,
Yeah,
yeah, I
was
can't
so
say anything on that. I cannot say anything on that. I
it
have
was it was so accurate. That's why they just got that nice written document from the Parents Teacher Association of Tokyo. That like
that whole false
false
advertisement.
advertising lawsuit.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I have no argument on that. That was just a terrible decision on their part for that. But like all in all, it's like the fight was really done. I do like, just like with Sentai, it's like I really like seeing a lot of the out of suit fighting, which it's Rider, so we really don't get a whole lot of that. Because it's not a typical trope that gets used. But that was really nice to see, and Taiga being Taiga, an honest and true Taiga to himself, at the very end with the "oh no, Taiga's going to die" thing. It was a nice touch, and it was acted out really well. That's all I got, and holy shit, I want to see the next episode already.
Yeah, really well done fight. The only other thing I had to add is like when Taiga was like taking out his gun and shooting in human form, like where was this throughout the show? And two, this reminds me so much of O's right now. But Rai, I guess it's your time to talk.
So I haven't seen the next episode preview. Does it show that Taiga survived?
Yeah, he's
Yes,
in the
albeit barely.
Okay,
hospital. He's in intensive care, and then Hiro has to come in and treat him, and then Masamune is being an ass, and like, if you treat Taiga, like, I'm gonna kill your girlfriend.
Basically, the deal with the devil finally is gonna take its due.
Which doesn't make any sense. I'm thinking it's just a preview, but it could be like what Masamune says. But I still don't think like Hiro's gonna do anything that crazy.
Yeah, so that's why I let you all go first. The idea that Taiga survives, even if it's barely, kind of ruins that whole shot that they did of him, like, saying his last regrets and then closing his eyes, and then, like, it did the shot of, like, a sun setting. If Taiga just ends up walking away okay from this, then that'll be super disappointing, because this would have been a super good time to kill him off if they were going to do that.
I mean, you
Okay,
might
wait.
reveal that like his medical condition is so bad that he can't hench it anymore. So like, yeah, we're not in the mindset of killing riders anymore. Like, this isn't Agito, right? Like, we're not gonna have another Agito happen.
What is this? Fucking Ryuki?
Yeah, right.
Okay,
Like-
okay. I just wanted to say that I actually expect him to like come out of the bed, I recover for a while, and use fantasy simulation to beat graphite. I mean, it's possible.
Maybe, but
I mean, they can pull off a chaser mark if they want.
no, Hero has too much power. It doesn't make sense for him to give anything to Taiga. Like, the only way that could happen is like if somehow Laser, Poppy, and Nico teamed up with Taiga and beat him, but I'm like, that doesn't make any sense for this character arc.
No, I mean, fantasy simulation. You don't need hero because he already has a Gachat gear duel, right?
No,
I mean, like how Parad can go perfect knockout that way.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, that would be interesting. I mean, considering they have Dan, like maybe they could figure out a way to hack it because he made the damn thing.
Mm.
Uh, in the end, I did enjoy this episode, uh, and I do look forward to seeing where the next episode goes. One of the kind of problems that I've had with newer Rider as it's become more kid friendly is that people have just don't die anymore. Going off of coming from
Well,
Sentai
except for
and
the first episode.
what?
You forgot about Gaim, where Sid and Hase violently died.
I mean, yeah, there have been
Yeah, that's one
exceptions,
guy, and then like a Ghost intro, like 30 people just fucking die when the first like Ganma attacks.
but like
Yeah,
no one
And
dies
then,
in
like,
O's.
yeah, like
but
Ex-Aid,
that is
same
not
thing where like
about.
100+ people died, and like in Drive, like supposedly like hundreds of people died, like whatever. It's one
But
of those things where it's like it only happens on the first episode, and you only just hear about it.
yeah,
But go ahead, right?
coming from Sentai and then watching Kuga, it's like, yeah, the monsters are just competing to kill people in the hundreds. It's like, yeah, okay, this is way more mature.
Yeah,
And then Agito
Drive
had
is
like,
amazing.
okay, so the monsters are killing people in impossible ways, like
Yeah.
pulling people through concrete.
Okay, now.
I
Okay, I
mean, we
guess.
still had like people die up to like Kiva. Like Kiva had deaths, and like
Deno took a
Ah.
break from it, but Deno got away with it.
Yeah.
Except in the first episode,
yeah,
because
Um,
that one woman just
Okay,
got
okay, okay.
dropped out of nowhere from
like I
the
think
top of a
af-
skyscraper.
yeah. I think a decade after decade it definitely stopped. Like here's the weird thing. Like in Double, like people die, but they die in the past. Right? Like Double doesn't actually have people who like bad shit happens where it's like, oh, you're not gonna get like a everybody lives happily ever after type of ending. Where
That
it's like
seems to
shit
be
happened. You gotta
the
you gotta
thing,
deal
though,
with
is
it.
that like, yeah, the best we can get is people that died off screen in the past.
Yeah, I mean, like Wizard, nobody dies, but the thing is, like by the end, like almost all of Tokyo almost bites the dust, and then like in the beginning, like a ton of people die, and that's what makes the monsters.
Mm.
But like nobody dies in the show because that's the whole point of the show is like I'm gonna make sure nobody fucking dies to this shit ever again.
And I'm not saying Ryder needs people to die to be good. Deno is proof that people don't need to die every episode. My point is
Yeah,
that.
and but okay,
Go on.
okay. You know the reason why Deno gets a pass is because Yuto Sakura is tragedy in a nutshell.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Look, I wouldn't think anybody would be able to take death after that tragedy.
Um, but my point is that I don't like how it seems like they're afraid to have anyone die anymore. Like, everyone in Ex-Aid that's died has just turned into game data that can be revived at any time. Literally everyone.
Well, not everyone's gonna come back. Like,
I'm not saying
There's
everyone's
a
going to come
friend-
back, I'm just saying that no one's technically died.
yeah, like Lizard's friend's not
Except
gonna
for
come back.
Kiria's friend that got hit by a bus.
Yeah. It's the same problem with like Gaim where it's like, oh, people died horribly. I'm like, yeah, they died horribly because it was a plot, it was a plot convenience, which we constantly refer to. So it's like, yeah, it's more like, holy shit, you get one, like it's the whole problem with like at the end of Gaim, like, isn't this whole town like getting wrecked? Like, why is nobody even injured?
No, they were evacuated, at least according to the,
Yeah,
whoever didn't turn into Invest got evacuated.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like the convenience. Like you get one death or like multiple people, but like you can't get both. Um, I don't know. Like technically, after X8, I could see them like having characters die, but like in X8, at least it
Yeah.
makes sense why they come back.
Okay, you know the thing about the people turning into data with Drive, Ghost, and Exceed is kind of annoying. I just don't want them to do this again.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's kind of like, especially in the last couple of years, it's just too much. Where it's like,
And I
dude,
gotta
just
go.
okay, man.
All right,
See
see
ya.
ya.
Bye bye.
Uh, what I'm just saying is that if this series had aired 10 years ago, Taiga would have died here and be dead.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, okay, here or at some point he would have just. Alright, that's true. He would have either died here as like the team's friend, or he just becomes their friend and then he just ends up dying exactly like another Agito. Because that would have been like there's literally two options. It's like he dies here or he dies like another Agito. It's just like, I started off as a villain, gonna stay as a villain, not that bad of a guy, becomes a hero, then dies. Um,
And
thing is, like, man, X8, they really didn't need to bring people back, but like it makes so much sense that
yeah,
like you
this
can't
was
deny.
it was well thought out for why people are coming back to life. This writer probably had this script planned a couple years ago and has been working on it since. Like, you could tell me that and
Maybe.
I would believe it. I'm not saying that it's true, I'm just saying I would believe that scenario.
I mean,
Uh,
he is a drama writer, so he probably had the show planned out. I'm not sure if he had it years in advance because, like, Toei and Bandai mandates probably had to make, he probably had to change some shit. And, like, I doubt he's like, holy shit, Laser, he's gonna be the breakout character. I'm like, maybe, but, like, I don't think he expected it to be this much. Anything else on this topic, you guys?
or in general, anyone else's final thoughts?
Not for me. Just looking forward to the next episode.
Same here.
Like, for me, it's like I get why, at least with this series, the everybody turned into game data thing. It fits with this series, even if it is a cop out for why there's no permadeath. Beyond Kiria's friend, because apparently you cannot you don't turn into game data when you get hit by a bus, even if you are infected with the Buckster virus. If he happened to be, I don't know. I forgot that part of the plot point. But all in all, I get the no permadeath in this series just because it works with the overall theme of the series. The whole video game aspect of it. But it's one of those things, like, they could have easily not brought back Kiria and nobody would have batted an eye. I mean, we all knew, we all had the theories that he would come back, but it wouldn't have felt off. It wouldn't have felt out of place or anything like that. Whereas, like, with some of the other series, like, the deaths that they did put in just did seem like literal just plot devices. But I get it. I get Rise Point, like, entirely, because yeah, coming from Sentai to Rider, it's a big shift when it comes to the villains actually taking the "we're gonna kill people" thing seriously.
Okay,
Because
I just thought of something where it's like, uh, technically in Drive, Chaser fucking dies, but like I think he comes back in a V cinema or something. So it's like, even if you kill them, they can't stay dead for long.
he did, but he didn't.
Oh,
It,
okay.
it
I haven't
was a
seen
weird thing. It
He
was
died
a
in an
weird
alternate universe thing. Pretty
Yeah,
weird.
Okay.
that
I think you're thinking of Mach from Rider 4. Or are
Oh
you?
yeah. My
Yeah,
bad.
yeah, yeah. Not Mach. I'm talking about like
Chaser.
Acer actually dies.
Chaser, they brought him. They brought him back towards the end of, I think it was that the Mach movie.
Okay, so I haven't seen that, so yeah.
But
But that's what I'm.
it was the most off the wall kind of explanation of it was Chaser, but it wasn't. This was all in his head, kind of thing.
Such bullshit.
No. I think he is. I think he is dead, but I think he has like some data ghost nonsense. It's pretty
Okay.
weird.
It's a weird. It was a weird situation in of
He's
itself.
dead, but
And
Go's trying to bring him back. Think O's.
Yeah, that part makes sense, but I know he kind of comes back. Whatever.
because doesn't like his dead ghost thingy take over the actual person? Wasn't that what it was?
Oh, you
Yeah,
mean his
his
data
shift
took
car
over?
or whatever,
Yeah,
Yeah,
his
his
shift
shift
car took
car
over the human.
shift bike or whatever.
took over the it took over the actual human.
Okay, so that's technically worse than the Ankh thing from O's. At least in Ankh, it's like, alright, cool. We kind of melded as a personality. At that point, this is like, oh, I'm just gonna possess you because everybody likes me better now. Like, fuck, that's horrible. Uh,
But
yeah, it's
like,
one of the things. Like, nobody can stay dead.
right, it because in like the only deaths that we've been getting, like actual deaths that we've been getting, have been, the deaths that are like precursor to the series or literal just plot points.
Yeah, it's so annoying.
As like for this, like if say Taiga does die, it will literally only be used as a plot device for either Hiro or Emu. That just like Kiria's death was a plot point for fucking Emu, as motivation for them to be a good doctor and be a good writer and whatnot.
Ah, shit. At first, I was like, oh, I can think of a couple of people who died, man. I'm like, because like, when Kamen Rider Chronicle starts, like, Pair to like fucking waste like 6 people, but I'm like, all right, they're just gonna come back.
Right, because they were killed as writers. He didn't kill actual people. I mean, yeah, they were actual people, but I mean, he didn't. They didn't go on murder sprees like the old bad guys used to.
Okay, like the Grongi Olympics are weird. All right, no monster has ever done anything as insane as that.
But I mean, it's to the point for me. Like, it's gone from, like Bryce said, being slightly mature in handling, accepting death, using death as an element of the show, to it's being passed up by people dying in Sentai. Because I mean, like, if you go back and watch Shinkenger, the grunts murdered the shit out of people in Shinkenger.
There's an episode of Shinkenger where Shinken Red is talking to this little kid, and he finds out that the kid's father died in one of the mech fights. He just got crushed because a building was destroyed.
And it's kind of sad. It's kind of sad when Sentai, which there's no debate, the show is made entirely for kids. I mean, yeah, we get the nods to the adults that grow up watching it, but it's made for kids, and I'm not saying Rider isn't either. But Rider seems, up until recently, has seemed like it's been aimed at a slightly older group of kids rather than the 5-year-olds.
Yeah.
And now it seems like it's literally starting to just bottom out again.
Yeah, it's just the same. Like, the thing is, maybe with Ex-Aid, we might get the hope of like them doing better storylines from now on, because like Ex-Aid is basically a very early Heisei Rider type show. I mean, like, if they let people stay dead, then it would be. But outside of that, like, it's pretty solid. I mean, like, hopefully the next shows going forward continue at least Ex-Aid's level. Yeah, Drago.
Well, the thing is that in the superhero time schedule has actually moved up. It's become 9 o'clock instead of your normal, what do you call it, 8 a.m. in the morning. So with Kamen Rider airing first, actually, because and the morning time has been replaced by news. I think they're gonna get away with a lot of crap next season because of the time.
Maybe, but it also means like more parents are gonna fucking watch it. So yeah, like if they
No, no,
can
okay.
if they can keep it
The,
X8 level, it'll be good. Yes,
the
Dragon.
the the thing about is that in anime deaths are a common thing.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
they don't.
and and around actually around 9, 10, around that time, mostly animes and all air. So I think that maybe they can go. I'm not saying that they need to go as violent as possible, but they can get
Oh
away
no,
with.
that's called Amazons. Yeah, it's
uh,
like, oh, standard writer show. Nobody dies. Amazons, what? You just looked the wrong way. Too bad, buddy. You're not making it.
Remember when they had a bloody rabbit Kamen Rider going around biting people's limbs off?
What the hell? Wait.
I missed Amazon.
Okay. So I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Because I just have season 2 stuck in my head because I've seen almost all of it except the
I was
last
talking
episode.
about the original
Yeah.
Amazon.
The original Amazon.
That was
Oh.
too
Overly
gory
insane.
and got cancelled for it.
It wasn't gory. What happened was, yeah,
It
yeah, yeah.
was
I
gory.
guess,
That was
yeah, I
one of
guess,
the influences to its cancellations.
yeah. I guess technically, that is the word you would use. But basically, what happened is like at that time, like actual like standards and practices were coming in. It's like, what the fuck is this shit? Like, you can't show this to our kids, and like the backlash was so heavy. It's more like the standard 80s shit, like people overreacting. I mean, like I know Amazon's a little before that, but same thing in Japan. Because like before Amazon's, like you could get away with a lot more shit because there are far fewer rules for TV. That's why like fucking Toei's Spider-Man, he just like guns down people. Like he picks up an M16 and he just like guns down the bad guys because like even Rider 1 and 2 and like those guys, like, yeah, it's a fucking life or death struggle. We're not gonna fucking waste time here. Um, but yeah, as like the years have gone by, like the rules have gotten super strict, especially because like Toei is aiming for a younger and younger audience because like I guess they think that like the teen market is not sustainable because there isn't enough of a population. Maybe that's why like they thought like, okay,
yeah,
we have the
well,
we had the older guys and then the younger kids. So like the older guys get Amazon, the kids get like standard shit. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah. The thing about teen is that teens in Japan are actually starting to work earlier and earlier because economy bill. So that also might be a reason. And then teens also have to keep up with the education, a part-time job, and then also, and so doing both of these things takes time. So I doubt they will have any time to watch Rider anymore. The only people who have time would be adults and kids.
Okay, that's one of those weird things, but it's also the weird thing of like why so many anime aimed at high schoolers. It's because like that is like socially acceptable for you in Japanese society to watch anime at the point of being in high school. Yes, like up to that point. Um, do you have a little bit of money to spend? Yes. Like are you kind of deciding on your own taste at that time? That's why like so much anime is focused on like the high school setting, is because like technically this is the most like profitable and the most appropriate like cultural setting for you to be able to watch it. That's why like so much of it is focused around like junior high and high school,
Yeah,
because
and
just to appeal to that market.
no, but at least because the thing is, I think because the thing about high school anime that there are too many. I am pretty sick of them.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're all sick of them, but what are you gonna do? Like, the thing is, Japan's like TV structure is like the old weird TV structure of like, yeah, it's just whatever comes over the air for the most part. Um, so it's like, okay, you get a couple channels, and there's so many random shows, and they're so similar. It's because like one ends and a different one begins. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, you don't really have time for reruns and stuff because they don't have like the channels for it. It's sort
And
of like the same. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, the thing, and also the fact that in entertainment is super super expensive in Japan. Like half the anime that we have seen, they many of the people who love anime in Japan haven't because of it's the money. So yeah, decade. Something is wrong with your mic.
Oh dang! I didn't have music. You can hear all that thunder in the background. I'm assuming my bad.
And yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to say.
Fair enough. Any last thoughts? I guess I'll just go and finish off mine. Yeah, really, really solid episode. I hope that the next one is good. Like, don't make it cheap, just for the sake of drama. Like, I don't think that's what it's going to be, but like, you never know with Toei.
For me, I just hope that the next episode carries the same weight as this episode. I'm not talking about like emotionally, and then it just finishes off with Hero's storyline.
Yeah, I've got nothing. So go ahead.
I'm
Okay.
good.
I'm hoping this series it finishes off as strongly as this has been. Other than that, I got nothing.
All
I hope
right.
this finishes up early.
All right. Thanks for joining us this week. We'll see you next time.
Yep. Thanks for listening.
Bye bye.
Later, taters.
Later, everybody. We'll see you guys next Tuesday for our Uchu Sentai podcast, or next Wednesday for the next episode of Kamen Rider Ex-Aid.
Good night, everyone. See you next time.